Welcome to Layers of Communication with your host, Lydia Taggart. Life presents experiences that add a layer to who we are and how we see the world, affecting how we communicate. Lydia is here to help you take apart the layers and create new ways to connect and build relationships. So now, please welcome the host of Layers of Communication, Lydia Taggart.
I'm your host, Lydia Taggart. I'm super excited to see what I have to share with you today and to show it to you so you can see it. And just some awesome stuff. So first of all, this is Layers of Communication, where we talk about all the different ways to communicate with people and how to get through those barriers that sometimes form. And would you believe I have been building some barriers this week? Sometimes that happens. I've had, it's just this really hard week to deal with. And I think it was probably right up there with one of the hardest weeks of my life. That's pretty big. And I found myself slipping back into my old habits, withdrawing, and oh my goodness, that really big thing called coping mechanisms and my comfort food addiction. I was like, wow, that's still there. That I got over that addiction thing, but when tough times come, all these old things come up. And so today I want to talk with you about what we're doing to get through these things and what we can do to help other people around us get through their tough times. Because we're all worth it. And sometimes we need a reminder. So this is my phone. And it has a lot of things in it. But it's not anything really special. It has special stuff in it, but I have to go look for it and find it. And there's another way. So if I have my phone, I'm not thinking of anything in particular. I got my calendar in there. I've got all sorts of everything. Everything is in there, right? But when I have a letter or a card, that's all I'm thinking of. The person who sent it to me and what it says, and this is all it is. It's not my to-do list or my email or my work or anything else. It is simply a letter from someone to me, and that's all it is. And I can carry it around with me and do whatever I need to with it. So this one, actually, this is a letter from my mom that she wrote to me many years ago. And it was August 24th, 2001. It was a special day for me. It was right after my son, Stephen, my firstborn son, had been born. And my mom wrote me this letter. It's 2 pages long. And she tracked, my mom went to California where we were living at the time. She tracked all of my contractions and how far apart they were and everything. And so she put those charts in here with it too. And she wrote down what time we went to the hospital at 12:05 a.m. on Thursday. Just little things like that are special, you know? And the first thing that she says, whew, Dear Lydia, thank you so much for being you. Sometimes we need those reminders. And I get this from my mom. I keep this in our safe, actually. I keep this and a few other things I'll share with you in my safe. We need reminders sometimes, a tangible that we can carry around with us reminder. Sometimes that comes in the form of a piece of jewelry, my wedding ring. Sometimes I'm like, yeah, someone loves me. It's okay. He still loves me. My husband's very awesome. I'll just leave it at that for now. But I'll tell you about my crazy week. And I know that you can relate to this because everyone has crazy times in our lives. And they kind of, they boil up inside of us when we're not getting enough sleep and we're not eating enough or the right foods, and it weighs down on us. Even if we have the training, even if we're still human. We know all these things. I know not to get upset with my kids. I know that I need more sleep. I know how to take care of me. But sometimes life happens and we got to go with it. And so we get a little bit sleep deprived, a little bit tired, a little bit hangry. And that is really, really a thing, being hangry. Anyway, we have the musical playing and it's really great. It's wonderful. Love it. The side effect of it though is that we don't get home until like midnight when there's a show. They're very long days when we get up at 5 in the morning and don't come home until midnight. And then we need to like switch gears and try to calm down and get ready for bed. And we've got to get up like in 4 or 5 hours. 2 or 3 days of that, you could probably handle that, but not every day. So on a Friday, we actually had one of our neighbors that we carpool with. We didn't arrange a carpool for some reason. And we were both at the school picking up the kids. And she calls me and says, my car died. And so we jump her car and everything's great. And we start driving away. And she calls me back and says, it died again. And so we turn around and go back. And anyway, we didn't get home very early. And everything turned out great. But this, just this over and over every day, there's something happening. So this is coming up on the recovering from wisdom teeth being pulled, right? Kids are doing great. Really, really great. But it was a lot more than I anticipated. I have this habit, if you can recognize your habits, that's really great. But I have this habit of being excited about something. Okay, yes, we're going to do this. And then we jump in and I go, wait, what are we doing? We're having quadruplets? What? Oh, we're all getting our wisdom teeth out. And I realized this again. Of course, these patterns are things that get reminded to us often. But on Friday, when we're getting the wisdom teeth pulled, the doctor there says, so you've got someone to help you carry them out to the car? I was like, no, there's 4 of them and 1 of me. And that means 5 seats in a little car. We're going to be cozy. And I hope they don't hate each other for breathing on each other because that's what we got. And he just looked at me like, you're crazy, lady. Really? And I'm like, well, I can call a neighbor when I get home, help me get them in the house. And oh my goodness, we ended up getting the kids out of the car. You just lay there on the grass, be there for a minute. And then it was quite a process. And it was great. And it's done. And everything is wonderful now. But this just was part of my week, right? And there's nothing to complain about. And I was just really happy and thankful, like we talked about last time. Thankful for everything, so many things to be thankful for. So we have a leak in our basement that we had the plumbers come out. And turns out it's worse than they thought. And it's going to involve a lot more people than just the plumbers. Anyway, when they opened up the wall and said, oh, you need to call someone else for this part. We'll fix this part. You got to call somebody else for that. And I was like, okay, well, I'm paying you $300. I paid you $100 last week or a couple of weeks ago, whenever it was. And I got to pay them $300 or $400. And I just got this wisdom teeth stuff for all 4 of my kids. And we didn't have insurance to help with that. And I'm just seeing all of this stuff piling up. And okay, we'll just do it. We're going with it. Jump in and go, right? And so then my car dies. It won't start. Luckily, I'm so blessed, so thankful and blessed that it died in my mom's driveway. So I had to get the kids, picking up the kids from school and stuff. I borrow my mom's car. And I think that I broke it because it won't shift gears. It's really hilarious, actually, because I drove it around trying to go places, but it would only go 25 miles an hour. I put the flashers on and I'm letting people pass me and I'm like, oh, and I break everything that I touch today, the plumbing and the car and then my mom's car and whoa, what else am I going to break? Well, turns out I just had it in the manual gear. I don't know why cars have manual and automatic, and they're like right next to each other, and I couldn't figure out. It wasn't my car, so I didn't know how to drive it. I was like tapping the brakes, and they're a lot more touchy than I think, and all those things, you know, all those little things that are just wonderful. And so anyway, that was really wonderful and hilarious when my mom's like, oh, this is the drive spot right here. D is for drive. I thought it was in drive. I did that. But anyway, all this stuff. And my kids get in the car, in my mom's car while I'm driving, and they say, so Mom, how was your day? And I'm like, oh, I don't want to talk about my day. How was your day? And trying really hard to be nice and friendly, but really worn down and really kind of oversensitive. But having feelings, and feelings are meant to be felt. And I am so glad that I have learned how to share and express my feelings with my children, because they're going to have feelings when they're going to have feelings when they're growing up and everything. They think, a lot of people think that when you're an adult, you get to manage your emotions, and sometimes that gets translated as have no emotions. Don't let anybody see you cry, especially don't let your kids see you cry, because you got to be strong for them if they're having a hard day. But I believe we make them stronger. We make our kids stronger when we allow them to see us process our emotions, so they will know how to do it too. It's really important, really important. So I told my kids, yeah, I've had a bad day. It's a hard day for me today. Tell me about yours. And they told me some things, and life is great and wonderful. And then they came back and they're like, okay, Mom, now it's your turn. How was your day? I'm like, oh, I still don't want to. I still don't want to tell them, because I was having a hard time. I was just having a hard time. And then they're like, Mom, why are we going so slow? Because the car's broken, but it wasn't really. And anyway, I end up getting them home, and then I was like, how am I going to get my other two kids home, because we don't fit in that car, and get my mom's car back to her, and all that, you know, if you have a car break, then there's all this stuff to go around. And my car's fixed now. It's wonderful. My husband was able to what did we do? We changed the battery. We got a new battery, and it seems to be working pretty good. We're thinking that might be an alternator or starter. We checked the battery twice at 2 different places, and they both said it was good in the last couple of weeks. And no, it's not. And it seems to fix the problem. It's simple. We overdo, but I was overdoing my emotions. Anyway, I got to this place, this point in my day yesterday, where the kids were like, can I give you a hug, Mom? Can I hug you? I'm like, no, don't touch me. And usually that's like an angry kind of feeling, but it's a self-care. I need to take care of myself. I don't need anybody else to touch me and possibly take away stuff. I just need some space. And it's important for us at those points to let our people know that we just need some space. And so those are two things that I was reminded of yesterday. Let people know feelings are meant to be felt, and let them know that you just need some space, and it's okay. And I didn't respond to them like, ah. I was like, no, don't hug me right now. You gotta hug me later. I will hug you before I leave, but not right now. And so like an hour or so later, I was like, okay, I'm gonna leave. Oh, it's hug time, yay! I was like, it's hugs and hugs. And then my sweet Brendan, he's like, group hug. I'm like, nope, that's too much. Can't handle a group hug. We're doing individual hugs right now, one at a time. that's enough for mom right now. And by the end of the night, my daughter was saying, Mom, I'm so glad you feel better, and can I hug you again? I was like, yes. I'm so glad you're feeling better enough. And one thing, this is the tip of the day. One thing that made the biggest difference is to have tangible reminders that I matter, that we matter. It's important. I remember I was following my mom's example of writing letters to my kids. And when I wrote Brendan's letter, now Brendan, I have had the hardest time with him. He's the one that I've really struggled connecting with. And so I wrote him his letter first. And it's not one-sided. He knows that it's hard for him too. We're not connecting, we weren't connecting on either side. And so I wrote him this letter saying, Brendan, you're awesome. I'm glad you're my son. And I listed out a few qualities that I appreciate in him. And, he slept with that letter. He put it under his pillow for at least a month, at least, probably more like 6 months. He slept with this letter to help him get through the night or through the day. That it's so important for us to have something that we know. And we can send a message in a text. We can send any kind of message, but today I'm talking about written letters. I'll share this other one with you. It says, to my secret angel. That's me. I was a secret angel. We had a project in our neighborhood in Phoenix when we lived in Arizona. And we went to some elderly homes, some elderly people, and the younger people drew names of who they were going to be, and were secret angels. We left little messages and things on their doorstep. It was kind of like the 12 Days of Christmas. But this friend, I actually wasn't her secret angel, but she thought that I was, because she knew I was doing it. And we got closer to each other during that time. And it was just really fabulous. And so she printed up beautifully on this special paper. So awesome. And if you choose, you may share this letter with your classmates and let them know how much you are all being appreciated, just in case someone doesn't think to write. So I'll share what she said a little bit. You'll never know what joy you have brought me this Christmas season. What fun to open my door and there find the little tree and a story. If you know me well, you know you couldn't have given me anything I appreciate and enjoy more than a good story or poem. How I have enjoyed reading yours. If we know each other well, and I didn't know her well at the time. Sometimes we just take that extra step and step out to do something. But this is special to me, that she called me her angel. And I wish she will never know what an angel she is to me for writing me this letter of appreciation. And it's beautiful. She's got great handwriting, and she's printed it up easy. And I keep that one in my safe as well, with the letter from my mom. I have a letter yesterday. Excuse me, my husband, in all of my crunchy, my husband says to me, I left something on your pillow. And because he said that, I didn't go to my room for a long time, because I was like, I don't know if I can deal with that yet. I was having that hard of a day. And it's a good thing he told me that it was there, because I probably would have totally missed it. It's just a very plain, simple paper. No decorations. It's not fancy. It's in his own handwriting. It's not real fancy, but it's a letter of gratitude as well. And I'm only going to read some of it, but you can tell it's not long. It's not long at all. He put the date on there, and he says, Lydia, I just want to thank you. And he ends it with, I love you. So that's what I'm going to invite you to do today. Find someone. That's our time's up. Find someone who you can express appreciation for. Find a way to send them or give them a letter. I've collected little love notes. These are love notes for me. You can have a love note from anyone who loves you in any way. It doesn't have to be romantic. But they're special to me. I can look at them. I don't have to have the power turned on. I don't have to be connected to Wi-Fi. I can just have something there that I know is real. It's not going to be deleted. I can touch it. I can smell it if I wanted to. It's real. And that somehow translates differently in the brain than something that's sent electronically. Electronically is a different kind of, it can be real, but it's not the same kind of real that you have in a paper that someone has handwritten or signed with their own hand for you. So if you need a letter, it's okay to ask someone to write you a letter. My oldest son is doing that right now. He's asking for letters of reference from his teachers and people at school, saying he's a good guy, letters of reference, and he's awesome. He's getting ready to apply for colleges and things. So it's a time appropriate thing. But I told him, you know what? Why limit it? You only need 3, maybe, letters. Why not ask all of your teachers? Why not ask a friend? Why not just collect all this evidence of how awesome you are and how important you are? Because you do matter. And it is important that you're here in the world. You do contribute and you touch lives around you. And why not reach out and share with someone else? We don't have to wait for someone to ask us to give them a letter of reference. We can give them a letter of appreciation anytime we want. And who knows? Your letter might be the one that someone takes to bed with them for a couple of months. Excuse me. The love language of words of affirmation is a powerful language. And whether or not it's our primary love language that we work through most of the time, it will still touch our hearts. It will still touch those who need an uplift. We can help them that way. All right, this is Lydia Taggart, and I'm on Layers of Communication with you today. You can find me at lydiataggart.com, and next week is going to be November. We're starting out our gratitude early this year. Find things to appreciate in people and let them know that you appreciate them. Just thank them. It doesn't have to be anything important or big, because all of the little things add up. By small things, great things are brought to pass. There's a quote that I'm messing up. Just thank you. Thank you for being here. And thank you for being a part of my life. I appreciate you. And I really do appreciate you. Thank you. Go out and make it a better place. You are worth it, and so are they. Talk to you next time.
You've been listening to Layers of Communication with your host, Lydia Taggart. Tune in next week as we discover the layers in order to communicate and connect down to your core on Lydia Taggart's Layers of Communication.